This
All right.
conference will now be recorded.
Well, welcome to our July session of our sarcoidosis support group. We have Jean. Would you like to introduce yourself?
And say what?
We usually
Say
go with
introduce myself like how?
where you live, how long you've had sarcoidosis, where you have it in your body. We have it all over, so more the merrier.
I live in Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. Um, I've had I got diagnosed with sarcoidosis in my spleen in I think it was 2020 or 21 or somewhere in there.
Oh, geez, during the
And
pandemic. Oof.
yeah. Actually, it was right at the start, so it must have been 2020. It was
Fun
just
time.
found in my spleen on a scan that was for something else,
Hmm.
and turned out that there there was a lot of like, is it sarcoid? Is it not sarcoid? We're not going to diagnose your spleen to find out, and then I got an appointment with this sarcoidosis doctor in Toronto who said like we'll just treat it as if it is kind of thing, but it didn't actually bother me at all till the last couple of years when my joints and muscles hurt so bad that I
Mm.
think I think like I have arthritis, like osteoarthritis, but the person who follows me for sarcoid was thinking that it looks like sarcoid arthritis too.
I've heard that
And
term. I've heard that term with my doctor. So yes, I believe that's a thing. I really do.
yeah, and so now the big things are like joint and muscle pain, just like pain all over, and the bottom of my feet are burning like as if like they're in a tub that's water that's too hot, like,
Uh huh.
but they just burn like that. And I was just at the hospital a couple of weeks ago because I had abdominal pain so bad I couldn't stand it, and they did a scan and it was like all normal. So then the doctor who treats my sarcoid says, well, all your pain's not sarcoid, and she's she thinks it's like peripheral neuropathy in my feet, so she's sending me to somebody for nerve conduction studies, and the appointment's in like 7 months. And then she says the pain, she just sent me to this chronic pain clinic that's going to take months and months to get into. So I don't know, but I've heard so many people say that like it takes they got a long time of symptoms before it actually gets nailed down that it's sarcoidosis causing it all. So
Yeah, that's a
I
common
don't know.
story. A lot of people say they got
Yeah,
diagnosed with lymphoma first, so they tell you you
yeah,
got cancer, and then it's like, oh, good news, it's not cancer, it's sarcoid.
yeah.
What?
I well,
I've got
I had cancer, and I'd take that over the sarcoid any day. I had a
I've
not
heard
bad
that too. I
cancer.
try not to say that
Yeah.
too much, but
Well, I just had a not bad cancer that was just found early because I was getting routine scans for my spleen. So if I didn't have the spleen issues, I wouldn't have known I had the cancer till it was beyond fixing. So
did they find
yeah,
any evidence of sarcoid in your lymph nodes or your lungs?
no,
No. Okay, then
no.
you're a rare disease.
Yeah, I know. That's why it was like hummed and hawed till the doctor
Yeah,
in Toronto said it was.
'cause
But like
like
the
for me,
pain
it
is,
started in my lungs
yeah. The
and
pain
never
I
detected.
had this, yeah. I had like a coughing spell. I just coughed on some saliva like maybe like an hour ago, and I coughed so hard, and now like my chest is killing me, my back is killing me, my abdomen's killing me, my I got a really bad headache, and I'm like I don't know what it is, but that's not normal. So like for everything to hurt like that. It can't be normal. But whatever.
There's
There's my
nothing
intro.
normal about sarcoidosis. That's why we call it the snowflake disease. Everyone appears
Yeah.
different for everyone. So, Jean, have you joined our
Yeah.
group before?
I came to this one once, yeah, like
Okay,
the
so
last month. Yeah.
I was just going to say you can put your email in the chat window and we
Oh,
can
I got it. Yeah.
send you a reminder. So you're good. Well, welcome
I'm
back.
good. Yeah. Thanks.
So Kathleen had some news she wanted to share with us. Take it away.
Sorry. I'll tell
Brrrr.
Jean. My name is Kathleen. I am also a sarcoidosis patient. So I've had it for approximately 18 years at this point. The only place that I do not have it as of last week is my spleen.
So you're the
The only
anti-Jean.
place. Sorry.
I think I got the better end of that deal.
I think you did too.
Count your
I've been,
blessings.
yeah. I've been fighting a lot with the insurance companies and my doctors because my pain doctor, and remind me to tell you, oh, I'll try to remember myself, but so he wants me to try Nucenta because I've failed everything else from Cymbalta to gabapentin, you name it, I've pretty much had it. I've had methotrexate tablets, injection, Remicade infusions. I failed all of them because my inflammation was through the roof. It still is. So with my pain doctor, he wants to prescribe Nucenta. I know some sarcoidosis patients that have done really well with Nucenta, especially with the nerve pains. Exactly what you were saying, Jean. The bottom of your feet. My hands also have it. So as you can see, they're red right now. I took a shower. It'll take about an hour for them not to do that. Cold or hot makes no difference. And actually, my shower was 95 degrees, okay? Any colder and I would have been shivering. So freezer, cooking, barbecuing, hot weather, all that kind of stuff. So I feel your pain, feet and hands. So then, but going back to the Nucenta, the insurance company has denied me and said that I need to try Vicodin, Percocets, hydromorphone, and then morphine before they give me Nucenta. I see you shaking, Regina. I agree. I did try the Vicodin. I did try the Percocets. It did nothing. I did not try hydromorphone. He wants to give me morphine tablets next. And I said, listen, why don't you do a 5-day supply? I will go fill the prescription. I will come back here. I will hand it to you and then tell them I failed it in 5 days. It's that easy. If we have to play the games with the insurance companies, we do. But I was on a call with the FSR 2 weeks ago, maybe a little longer. And they are pushing through 2 bills. So it's already been through Congress. The first one I put in the chat, it's S652/HR 2630, the Safe Step Act. And that's exactly what it means. So I would not need to take all 4 of those steps. I might have to take 1 step, but not all of them. I believe that this is good for almost every single patient in the United States and Canada. But it's not going through Canada, it's just US. So they're suggesting that we touch base with our senators for that specific one. Just tell them that you want this bill. All the senators at this point are at their home here in the United States. They'll be back in September after Labor Day, 2 weeks after, I believe. So they'll be voting on this bill. It'll hit the floor. So the next one I'm putting in right now is S1375/HR 830. The Helps Copays Act. What that is, and I don't know, as I was trying to say before, my insurance, when I pay a copay, it does go towards my deductible. From what I understand, I am like a 1% person with that insurance. Regina, when you go to the doctor and you pay a copay, does it go towards your deductible? Do you know? Try the bottom.
No,
There you go.
no. I was copying these acts, putting them in
I'm
a Word.
I can send them to you too, Regina. It's not a big deal.
No, I'm copying them down.
Okay, your copays, does it go towards your deductible or no?
No, they don't. What you
Right.
know what I think they do? They may. You know what? I don't know. All I know is, sorry for my French, but a shitload of money comes out of my pocket,
Yeah, mine too. I'm
and
usually
I'm usually I feel like, and I know I'm not on like Medicaid or Medicare or anything, but I always feel like I'm in the donut hole, literally, because we have HSA,
oh
and a lot of stuff comes out of my pocket before it even basically hit my insurance.
yeah, mine too. I have to reach 2,500 before I get there. But
Yes.
from what I understand, a lot of people do not have their copays going toward the deductible. So this
Now you're
HR
gonna make me go look
830,
at my insurance.
so this HR 830 will make the copays go towards the insurance. So the FSR is behind it. They're asking us to reach out to our senators and tell anybody and everybody in the whole wide world. Well, in the United States, I should say. I'm sorry, Jean. I wish we could help you with Canada. I really do. But I'm not moving there. It's too darn cold for me. So, yeah, so that
Come to
to me,
Naples.
what's that?
Come to Naples. Nice and
Yeah,
warm.
I know. I told you, we might be St. Croix, so it wouldn't be that far from you. Now you can come visit me on a beautiful island, and I'll come visit you in Naples. Just go
You know
back and
what,
forth.
Kathleen? I think you're right. I don't think it does go towards
Right. Towards,
I don't
right.
think it go towards that.
That's what they told me, is that less than 1% of the insurances allow the copays to go towards that. So that's really important, because when we're sick, I mean, $2,500 is out of my pocket usually by the end of February, mid-March.
Mm-hmm.
So from
That's
January
true.
to that point, and then I've hit all my deductibles. That's sick. It really is. But
Yes.
thank God my copays are going that way. So when the FSR brought this up at one of the meetings, I've been waiting for them to email me, and they emailed me yesterday. So, oh no, 2 days ago. I apologize. So I started setting up speaking engagements on Long Island. So if it kills me, I'm going to give it to every single doctor. And if anybody, you know what, I should give you links, because I just want to show you something, which is pretty cool. The Safe Step Act is being endorsed by these, and all these organizations. So that's a really good thing. And let's see. No, that's a copy. That's mine. Here it is. The Help Copays Act is going to look like this. So I'll try and put links in for you guys while everybody else is talking. So this way you can keep it wherever you need to keep it. But I'm going to give it to each of my doctors starting tomorrow. I have a doctor tomorrow, so I intend to be handing it to everybody. I think we can do it, guys. What do you think?
I'm reading it right now. It looks reasonable.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It really, really is. I mean, I could read the whole thing to you, but there's no sense in it because I already did it. But this should be for the whole, and I'm sorry, Jean, it should be for the whole world, period, end of conversation. So it should just go straight across. Hey, maybe I'll touch base with somebody at the WHO. My dad knows somebody. I'll think about that. All right, so that's all I had to say right now. My sarcoidosis is horrible. I was just approved. Well, my neurologist saw me. I was not in good shape 2 days ago. And she said that regardless of who's the blood doctor? What is that called?
Rheumatology?
Nope, blood. Hematologist. According to my hematologist, I was not allowed to do IVIG because I'm in danger of throwing a clot. My neurologist said it's worth the try. So we're doing IVIG. I'll let you know how it goes in a couple of months. That's it for me.
Is that a
I think
once a month treatment?
no, it's 3 times. It's somebody else's blood, and it's 3 times in a week for the first month, and then it goes down to
Oh,
2 times. Yeah. So I'm also getting surgery on my knee because I have a complex tear of my meniscus, and my patella is off to the left. Welcome to sarcoid. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. It'll give you anything and everything, right? So,
Yeah, it's never boring.
yeah, so I don't know how that works with IVIG. From what I understand, I need to be off of it. So, I'll let you know in the future. Back
Keep
to you,
coming
Mr.
back.
Back to you, Mr. Kevin.
All right. Regina, how have you been doing? What's new with you?
let's just say I need a new job because sarcoid has really crumpled up my life, honestly. And yesterday, my sarcoid is fine for the moment, but it won't be fine because I need to find a job that I can work from home. Because let me
Mm,
tell you, yesterday, my boss, we had our staff meeting. Everybody got new names for their positions, which means also more money. And I got shit. I can't hear you. You're on mute, Kathleen.
I said, are you kidding me?
Kathleen,
Are you
I am
kidding
not
me?
joking. I'm serious. You know me and you've been talking about this for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
terrible.
Joe's still looking.
Yeah. And they said, he said, well, isn't this all wonderful news? How in the hell am I supposed to think that that's all wonderful news? And I'm on on some kind of PIP right now, which I think is ungodly, just foolish.
What's a
And
PIP?
It's
performance.
performance improvement plan.
Oh,
Thank you,
vitamin.
thank you. And let me tell you, I was in a car accident over a year ago, which wasn't my fault, which gave me acute whiplash. And then I caught COVID, which also gave me long-term COVID. I had to wind up being on FMLA for almost most of the year, for over a year. I'm still on intermittent FMLA. Um, I can't help something got in the way of my sarcoid because all of that boosted my sarcoid issues. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And so now I have issues. On top of that, I also had long term COVID on top of that. What the hell? So, because of that, so they have to make up something to say, something's not good. I got a horrible um, rating score of a 2.32. All the years of my entire life, I've been working almost 40 something years. I have never ever had a marking like this on my work record. Never, ever.
I would think it would be more fair to provide no rating since you were on leave most of the year. Like, what are they basing it on? Are they basing it on the fact that you got hit by a car and got COVID? That's, I would take that to
They're
HR and,
basing it on two people who said I was mean to them and said that I've been not doing very good note taking and all this shit. Well, you know what? I can't help it. I had messed up shoulders because of that. Um, and I know doggone well they're lying about the two people they say I was mean to because I don't even know who they are. Why would they bring that up at a employee review and not say something about it prior to? I know that's BS.
yeah, it's a
So
setup.
we got it's a big setup. We
Yep.
got a
I'm,
4%
I'm
raise
sorry,
this
but
year.
PIP for my former employer, Siemens, like 99%, it was a step to letting people go. That's
Oh
been
yeah,
my
I
experience.
know it.
Yeah.
I
So
know it.
they now have their evidence in a performance review, and I got the same thing on the way out. Like they needed to get rid of me, and I was a highly compensated employee, and so they just gave me a bad rating, and then next thing you know, I get laid off. So I'm
Hmm.
sorry that's going
I
on,
know that's what's going on.
but I've
I know
been
exactly what's going on. I have
significantly
an HR.
happier ever since it happened.
I got an educated HR background. I've never worked in HR, but my minor is in HR. I know what's
Yeah.
going on. I'm not stupid,
Okay.
but I'm still working there until they do something. But the flip side of that, which is a good side, is that I have 23 years working for the public, so I can still get my retirement, and I can still get Social Security. I have my 40 points for the state, and I can still get my two types of retirement. But neither one of those will give me enough money to live off of.
Right. And that, but then you
So
can
I still need a
pick that
part-time job.
optimum from home type of job, and you know, that's.
So I
I wish
know
you
I
luck with that.
know they're going to get rid of me. And I'm gonna tell you what I really feel like doing. We got our fall teaching conference coming up. I feel like just sticking it to their asses and just go ahead and retire before that conference and let them or do all the rest of the work themselves. But I'm not that kind of person because they
No.
need food for all them 200 people that's going to be coming in. They need all that other extra work that needs to be done. I do all that, but I'm not that kind of person. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But this is the thing. He has never said anything to me about anything until an employee review. They skipped over something.
Hmm.
Or it's completely fabricated, which is, you know, and that's the evidence. So you could, you know, I don't know. I would be angry as well, and
I
that's
have
wrongful
been.
termination. It's wrongful
Yep.
termination.
Hmm. I have been. And when I left out of his office, I said all because of, a car accident and COVID, and I was sick for a whole year. That's not anything of my doing. I said that when I left out of his office.
Yeah.
And I sure did. And you know what? Skip them. That's how I feel. They want to let me go, they can go ahead and let me go, but I'm going to keep on working there until they let me go. I do good work, and I always have since I've been there. So, all the sneaky stuff. And I'm going to tell you, this is how I know what he was doing. He said, well, I want you to get busy working on the financial stuff. I want you to understand the finances and all this stuff. So I did, right? And And the reason why I'm telling you all this because a lot of this has put stress on me and you can't have a
Which,
lot of stress on your sarcoid.
which is an issue with
So,
Sark. Yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so I went to the sarcoidosis, the not the sarcoidosis person, but the person who does the head manager of our fiscal affairs, right? That I need to talk to that can do some training with me. Let me tell you what she showed. She gave me something that I wasn't supposed to have, but she sent it to me. And I saw this paperwork that he sent me, and he only sent me part of the business affairs paperwork. She sent me the whole spreadsheet, and it had all of them having raises and all this stuff, and I was not having anything. And this was way prior to an employee evaluation.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
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 Well, the only thing you can do is try not to get too stressed out about it because that's gonna make things worse.
Yeah, well today was like yesterday was the top of the ladder. I mean, it was like the ball that dropped the, you know what I'm saying? because I had to be there all day. Well, and today I had to be there all day, and yesterday I had to be there all day because I had to do 3 meetings back to back to back, and 2 of them was with him, and all he's been doing was giving me penny ante work, like secretarial work, and the position is not even a secretarial position, and that's what it's been reduced to. So,
That's horrible.
mhm.
Sorry you're going through that.
Me too.
And I'm ready to go, but I know I need the money because where else I'm gonna go? I've been job hunting forever. Ooh, somebody just popped in.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did. I think that looks like they might be just calling in. I don't know.
Let me
I'm,
copy these links that you put in here real quick.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry you're
thanks for
going
doing
through
that,
that.
Kathleen. That sounds very exciting.
Anytime.
I hope not to need that anytime soon, but it's good to know it's there.
But you know what, even, your girlfriend or future or whatever, you, this is good for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not rare disease, it's for so that's why I believe in it. That's why Linda.
Linda has arrived.
Oh, somebody else did too.
There's Linda. How you doing? You're on mute. Yeah, it's a little choppy, but it's okay. Yeah, it's got a lot of static. Are you on your phone? Are you on your phone or your computer? Okay. So how have you been? Okay. I can't really understand everything you're saying, but sometimes it helps just to say it and get it off your chest.
Yeah, I
So
did
you're
hear
able
you've been struggling for about a month, right? You said?
to. Linda, could I ask you to maybe type it into the chat window because I can't follow what you're saying. It could be the fan blowing air on the microphone.
Is that any better? Is it any
One more
better?
time. Oh, much better.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, welcome back. It is you.
So yeah, I was just saying that. So I had trouble keeping food down, and I kind of put myself on a liquid diet for a couple of weeks, got better, and then soft food diet, and it's getting better, more tolerable. I can actually move around without getting nauseated.
Yeah.
Plus,
How's the heat where you're at? I know I'm down in Naples and it's brutal outside. I couldn't imagine working outside.
Yeah, it's this week we have not been under the heat advisory alert or whatever, but the last 2 weeks we've been under the heat alert. Yeah, it's our air temperature has been average around 95, 97 degrees.
At least the humidity's high.
Yeah.
So have you continued to work outside in this heat?
Sparingly. Sparingly. Actually, today I actually did go to our first job and work there. It's about an hour and a half. It was overcast and early, so it was before it got to 90 degrees. I think when I left when I left that job, it was like 85 degrees. But yeah, so this is the first like full work that I've done, stayed on the job for the full time, first time in 4 weeks, and didn't get sick, so that's a plus.
Yeah, that's good.
So, how's everyone?
Fine. I have a question. So where do you have your sarcoid at? When was you diagnosed? Because I couldn't hear the beginning.
I was diagnosed in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Pulmonary and musculoskeletal. It's mostly my issues. And I said earlier, I have several abdominal issues. I have gastritis, gastroparesis. I have polyps in my stomach and had some removed from the colon. And a few other things, diverticulosis. So several things there, and I have nodules on my thyroid, nodules that I get biopsied every 6 months.
Do you have it in your lungs or anything? Or
Yes.
you do? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first place they found it? Was it your lungs or somewhere else?
Yeah, lungs and musculoskeletal. Sorry, I live
Oh,
in
okay.
the
I was just curious.
police station. Yeah. My story actually, in my opinion, began with my dad. He had pulmonary sarcoidosis in his lungs, and he passed away from it
Oh,
in
wow.
1995. And then I was diagnosed in 2001. So.
Okay. Wow. Is your dad still living? Is your dad still living?
No, he passed away in 1995.
Oh, in 1995?
From sarcoidosis. He had a massive, he just bled out
Oh, I'm
at my
sorry.
aunt's house, just in the yard, talking, and just bled out. But his story is interesting, I think, because he was diagnosed with sarcoidosis in late 1968, early 1969.
Wow.
Wow.
He was hospitalized at UAB for several months. And then he just had, the issues with, he had a constant cough and shortness of breath. But then I think it was in 1992 or 3, it just got worse, and he couldn't work, and it was just, he was on oxygen, and just like, it just came back with a vengeance.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Me too. But you're like the first person that I've heard that has said that somebody was diagnosed way back in the 60s. I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
oh my
Very rare
gosh.
back
Yeah,
then.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yes.
why I feel like he has an unusual story. Um,
Where did he work?
he worked, we feel like it has something to do with where he worked. He worked at a linen plant, and part of his job was cleaning, all of the gunk from the ceilings and what have you, you know. We believe that it was,
You need to be writing
asbestos
a
or
book.
whatever. So,
You
and
need to be writing a book.
his doctors, of course, even though he had it then, I did not know that. I did not know he had sarcoidosis in '68. I knew the story of him being hospitalized because it was right after I was born, so almost the first year of my existence, he was in the hospital. And I knew that it had something to do with his lungs, but my mom, nobody ever said what it was.
Right.
When he got sick in '92, I had to get all of his medical records from the hospital. And then that's why I read that he was diagnosed with it then. I didn't know, I thought it was a new diagnosis in '92. But when I went back through his records, he was diagnosed with it then, which shocked me. And then, of course, I started doing what little research I could at that time. It really wasn't a whole lot, even in '92. But the doctors kept asking us over and over again, has he ever been to Africa? And we were like, no, we would know if he'd been to Africa. My mom has known him almost his entire life since he was a teenager. And, he was not born in Africa. He's never been to Africa. He barely traveled. I live in Alabama. He barely traveled out of the state of Alabama. So, no, he has not been to Africa. And we was like, why is it? Of course, later on, I understood that a lot of doctors thought that it mostly affected African Americans who had been in that region.
Wow.
And so,
You've come a long way.
yes, definitely. But
So,
they
Regina,
wouldn't let
I
that
wanted to
go.
share with you that we suspect that my mother had sarcoidosis. It was never diagnosed. She got diagnosed with fibromyalgia and polymyalgia and other pain syndromes, but they never found a root cause. But it was all in her gut, and she had a lot of GI issues and
I feel like
inflammation and pain in her joints, and so she was never diagnosed. But the way it's showing up for me a lot of times is the same way that it did with her. So I just it doesn't matter now, but I'm very careful with my kids. I've told them both what's really going on and what to look out for, and you
that.
know, here's everything I know about it. So don't get shocked like it the way I did. You should get screened just to
Yeah.
cover that base, beat that
Yeah,
risk down.
I did a DNA test because I needed to know, because my siblings and we all have different dads, right? So, and I didn't know my dad. I did a DNA test because I needed to know where the heck did I get this from. And lo and behold, I did the DNA test way back in 2014. And just this last past October, I just found out that it came from my father's side of the family.
They can tell that in the DNA. Wow.
Well, no, because somebody finally reached out to me from Ancestry back in October.
Oh, we found your dad.
Yeah, well, I found my people back in 2017, but somebody from Ancestry finally gave me a phone call back in last October. And
Wow.
I said the reason why I was doing the DNA is because I needed to find my family, and I needed to know what in the world do I have, and come to find out that somebody else on my father's side of the family had sarcoidosis.
Wow.
So yeah, so I'm like, wow. I see Wendy's made it in.
Hey, Wendy, how are you?
Hi,
You're on mute. There you are.
did anybody hear about the study that was just out about that they're finding in, I don't know, in Scandinavia, neurosarcoidosis is carried through the males? Has anybody heard about that or know
No,
anything about it?
I have not.
I have not.
I just read that article, I think yesterday or something. I just saw that article. It was out yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're coming across a lot of new stuff recently.
Yes.
It's interesting. Maybe I have to retract that assumption that it was my mom that had it.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Well, I do know that on my father's side of the family, when I did my DNA, I do have a lot of white people in my family, honestly, seriously. And I contacted a woman, and she got scared because I asked her about something, and she said, "Well, I only did the test because my parents gave me the test because she had really bad allergies, but our DNA almost matched each other to the T." And she said, "Oh my gosh, I got to go and talk to my family." I was,
There's a lot of crazy stories coming out of 23andMe.
Yeah.
and I never
My
heard back from
experience,
her again. Huh?
my experience, my dad actually asked me to get a DNA test, 23andMe. He wanted to do it to see if I was his. This is as I'm taking care
Ah,
of him, and he's 84 years old. I'm like,
Are you
excuse
serious? Oh my
me?
God.
Excuse me? What action is going to come out of that report? Because
Yeah.
if you're going to do it and write me out of the will, then I'm going to stop taking care of you because you're not family. Like, do you really want to do this?
So did you?
so
I did it. Yeah, he did it too. But we had the conversation first, and nothing changes,
All
regardless
right.
of the
Okay.
maybe the price I was going to charge him to take care of him moving forward.
so Kathleen and you guys, so y'all know before FSR got hooked up with 23andMe and the study that they're doing, I
Hmm.
had already started that study, and that's how I came. That's how I'm in that study for the African American people. I got into that study before FSR and 23andMe joined each other. So, and that's how that lady. It's funny. It's been interesting, but I've met a lot of family members already, even through 23andMe and also Ancestry. I've been did Ancestry, but the 23andMe is very, very new, and I've only been in the study for probably less than a year already, and it's a 2-year study. So it's been very interesting.
Yeah, I think got brought into that 23andMe 6 months ago, but I'm adopted. So I finally did find the birth certificate from New York State with all the blackouts, but
Hmm.
my mom passed at age 56, and her brother, so she had me when she was 17, so she went to Angel of Guardian Home in Brooklyn. That's where all the unwed moms went. So I don't know who my dad is, neither does anybody else. Her brother didn't even believe that I was his sister's daughter, first one. Um, because he was 7 when she was 17. So it was a 10-year difference. So he won't even talk to me. But I found my first cousin, swear to God, if you put picture to picture of age 40, we're exactly the same person, which was really scary.
Mm.
And she was the one who started this. She reached out to me on 23andMe and she said, so how come we match more than my nieces and nephews? And I go, I don't know. And that's what I typed. I'm adopted. And I said, anybody give up a child in New York? And then,
Wow.
slowly and surely got the wheels going, and that's what happened. So I'm interested to find out. I would love to get her birth certificate. So that's my next thing, is to see what she passed from, because nobody in the family seems to know. The
Oh
56
wow.
is really early,
Hmm.
Hmm.
to pass. So that's my next goal. Try and get a hold of somebody in that family to give me her social
Right.
security number so I can go from there.
Right.
But it's like pulling teeth, man.
Yeah.
I don't want, if you're wealthy, I don't care. I got my own little world. I just need this information on a piece of paper. And you never need to
Hmm.
see me again. I got a family. I mean, my cousin, how do I turn my cousins away and go, well, hey, you're not really my cousins? You know?
Yeah, you just want to add on. That's all.
I don't even want to add on. I don't want nobody else at my table for Christmas. I got too many.
It's a good problem to have.
Everybody comes here. Yeah, because they all want me to do all the work. So,
Oh,
I know.
maybe,
I know.
maybe it needs to be somewhere else next year.
Can I ask Wendy how you are feeling? Because I have not been able to be in contact with you recently.
Yeah, I know. How did that go with your knee?
Well, I have surgery October 5th, but yeah. But how are you doing?
Um, I'm having a lot of, mental issues.
Okay.
So, I had that brain bleed, and now they're telling me that it caused me to have cognitive problems. So that's why I'm so tired all the time. And I keep on telling them it's sarcoidosis, but they're telling me it's, um, for my brain bleed from the neuro. I just, now they want to go to a Alzheimer's kind of route with me and have me tested for all this stuff. And I'm
Mm.
like, I do not have Alzheimer's. I have attention deficit disorder. I have front lobal damage due to my brain bleed from
Mm.
neurosarcoidosis. I don't have time to go through the Alzheimer's route. I know that people are in a rush to put people down as having Alzheimer's lately.
Yeah. Well, you keep fighting them and you win. Okay.
You
That's the
got
most
this.
important thing.
Yeah.
And,
We have a special guest tonight. Rick, how are you?
hey, Rick.
Hello, how are you? I've been meaning to come in for ages just to see how everybody is.
Just
So,
fair warning, this meeting is being recorded, Rick. So,
okay. Then I won't say what I want to say, but I'm thinking it, okay, which is, how are my Sarkies?
we're doing good.
We're hanging in there. We're working on
Yeah.
some legislature. If you look in the, hey Wendy, that's the other thing. If you can look in the chat, copy those.
Uh,
Can you see the chat?
uh,
If you
nothing's on
can't,
my, nothing's
okay.
on my screen.
All right. So I'll try to
Click on the
share it
chat button.
again. What? Oh, look at the chat button. Is there one?
Yeah,
Yes, up
it,
top, right.
you have to do something to expose the chat window.
I did, and it's totally, it just says enter your message.
Okay. So Wendy, I will send it to you privately.
So it's some kind of legislative stuff.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
It's already passed through Congress, and now we're trying to get it through the Senate. Rick, this is really important for you too. I'll send it to you. So
Okay.
the first one is S652 HR 2630. It's called the Safe Step Act. So like for myself, in order to get Nucenter, I have to take 4 steps before that: Vicodin, Percocet, hydromorphone, and morphine. So this would lessen the amount of steps. So it's already passed through Congress. We got to pass it through the Senate. So we're just asking everybody to call your senators. There's only 2 per state. And then the other one is S 1375 HR 830. That's the Help Copays Act. Have you heard about that one? So that one, most insurance copays do not go towards their deductible. This would make that absolutely have to do. It would go through towards your copays. Your copays would go towards your deductible. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, because I thought that the way the deductible works is that you pay the first X amount of dollars. Whatever you pay counts against the deductible.
That's only for approximately 1% of the insurances. All the other, like my insurance definitely has that, but all the other insurances evidently don't. And I touched base with my son today, and he's like, yeah, that doesn't go towards mine.
I would check that out because I've never had a copay. I've never had a copay that didn't go toward. That's the whole point. You pay the first amount, and then until you reach the deductible, and
Mhm.
then it kicks in.
Yeah.
So I would look at that
I'm sending them
carefully.
in the chats for you, okay?
Yeah,
My
do me a
number.
favor. Just send it to me afterwards in my email because I have to get it out of here and get it
Yep,
onto my computer.
you got it.
And
You got
also, if you want anything signed, I'm happy to do it. But is there a letter that we can send? Is there a prepared letter that we
it.
can
Yeah, there's
that
a
we can
prepared letter.
send?
Yep, I'll
Okay, so
send that to you too.
send me the prepared letter, and I
Okay.
will send it on to my 2 senators.
Good, perfect. Yeah, I already called mine and bothered them.
Rick, is that something we
Good.
could send out to all of the ANCAN support groups? Because
Well,
if you're, I don't know
I
all of them,
don't,
but like prostate cancer, I'm sure you've got the same step issue when you need to go through the process with prostate
um,
cancer and certainly other
well,
cancers.
it's kinda. So, the FDA approvals require it. So it's not a payer issue.
Mhm.
It's an FDA issue, which is a little different. I think what you're addressing are the payer issues who make you go through it.
Correct,
And
the
Yeah,
insurance company.
right. The insurance
so,
companies, if this
so what,
passes, if you have a ladder to climb for medication for your particular
right.
diagnosis,
Um,
this would help.
Yeah, I mean, in
It's good to
prostate,
be
it's
aware
not
of it because it can
really an
advocate with
issue.
the
And here's the thing, to date, we we haven't done a lot of that. And I have to think about it because once we do it for one, we have to do it for everybody.
That's
And then
true.
the MS people are going to come with us with that something all the time. And we occasionally go out just to our prostate cancer people. But even now, I don't do that because the system is so messed up and they're going to hear it from somebody else anyway. That,
Okay.
I don't want them getting the same ask to do the same advocacy from 4 different organizations. We would certainly be happy to put it into the sarcoidosis one, though. Um,
Yep,
Kathy, work with Alexa for the
yep.
next meeting if it's not too late, and we'll include it
Well,
in
let's just send it to the distribution list,
Yeah.
yes.
right? Just we don't have to wait for the meeting announcement because that just came out yesterday. We'll just send it to
Um,
the distribution list saying,
well,
hey, this came up in our last support group call. One of our own.
yeah, I'm just trying to to be honest, I'm trying to save Alexa work. I don't want to have her to, because somebody's got to draft it. If
Yeah.
you if you draft what you want and you put it all in there, we will send it out for you. The only thing is that we cannot use PDFs. We have to use images. or we'd have to create a link. We'd have to create a link to the document that wants to be sent, but we can't attach a Word document or in MailChimp or a PDF.
Okay, good to know.
So, but I think Alexa has a workaround with that. I'll mention it to Alexa, but if
So
you
when we
guys,
get our email, there's a link in there to this GoToMeeting. So it'd
yeah,
be nice
there's
if you
links. We can put links in.
yeah,
Links are
so
not a problem.
we have links in
But what
the okay.
we can't put in, Kevin, are we can't put a Word document file or a PDF.
Okay.
The
It's already
system
set.
doesn't
Yep.
take it.
Thank you. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, Kathleen.
It's already set, Rick.
Look
Enjoy.
at you
Okay.
go.
To who? To me?
To you and
Or
Alexa.
oh, to
You
me
and
and
Alexa.
Alexa. Okay,
Yeah.
but you need to
Nighttime reading.
We got it.
okay, but you need to follow up with Alexa yourself to figure out how to get it into either to send it out to the distribution or to include it next time, if you will.
Yep. I'll reach out to her tomorrow.
Great. That's great.
Thank you. Thank you, though, for that.
Pleasure.
You doing well, Rick?
Yeah, just
Good.
way too busy. That's why I try to get the volunteers to do the heavy lifting, and so then we can make it happen.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
tough for us to, to take care of all of the details.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You look good.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are all the Sarkies doing? Where are they all? We lost some.
It's summer. You know how people are.
It's summer and they all go to different places. And Kevin, how are you doing? Are you back in Fort Myers or what's going on?
Naples, but yeah, I'm still
Naples, sorry.
here. Yeah, we just bought a house to flip, and that's been keeping me busy for a few weeks. But all good down here. It's a little hot, but still paradise. We lost someone.
You
Gene.
lost Jean. Jean
Yeah.
from Canada.
Ontario. Yep.
Oh.
Ontario, Mississippi, New York. Regina, where are you from?
Good old Indiana.
Indiana.
That's right. When you get a new person like that, do we have their email so we can get them on the list?
Yes.
Yes.
We've been
Yeah.
very consistent about doing that.
Good.
Girls have been great and just putting it right in the next distribution.
That's
So it's working perfect.
that's great. And Alexa's putting them on the distribution for you,
Yep.
yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Fantastic.
I don't
We had
think I'm
two
on any
examples.
Are
distribution, am I?
you not? Do me a favor, put your email in the message bar.
You should be, Regina. You've been
You're a
around for a long
moderator.
time. You're an
Sure
old
have
timer,
been.
darling.
Yeah, she's a monitor.
You're an old timer. I recognize you. Let me just
But I'm gonna
see.
put my email in there anyway.
You
You
probably
put
have
your
like
email in,
400
but let
emails from Ancan in your inbox.
me look because it may be going out to you. And let me
Maybe it's going to your
look.
AOL account.
There's my email.
While you guys are looking up something, I want to ask Kathleen about your little party that you had down in Long Island for sarcoidosis, how that went.
Yeah, it
Oh,
went
I forgot
really,
all about
really
that. Thank
well.
you, Wendy. You don't have Alzheimer's.
No,
Get
she
out of
does
here.
not. She does not.
I
We've
know, right?
diagnosed you already, Wendy.
You remember
You don't
that
I
have
night,
know,
and
right?
maybe I have
Thank you.
Alzheimer's.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
It
yeah.
went really, really well. We had people from Maine, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, somebody from Vermont, and actually next year they're looking to bring their wives or husbands. So we had 35 people, and what we did was we just did a brunch. It was Kerry, Cheryl, and myself because we're all New Yorkers. So we decided to have a brunch, and it cost $50 per person, but that was all your food. We took money out of our pockets and we did some raffles, we did some games. We had a great time. I made chocolates, Wendy. Hold on. Stay there.
Oh,
I
please.
can't eat them
I hope
all.
she
So,
didn't make her balls, her chocolate ball. Are those your chocolate balls? Okay.
no,
Remember your
see?
chocolate
So
balls? Yes.
cute.
And I did purple.
We're
So
done.
we had
Wow.
we had a great time. And it turns out that everybody wants it to grow a little bit. So we said,
Yeah.
that's fine. So I think we're going to do it like April 13th or 14th if you're interested in coming on down to our neck of the woods. Hint, hint.
So I have a question. Have you
April,
ever thought of
that,
like
that
trying to
might be
get
cool.
Nord involved
With just a get
with
together.
like sponsorship?
No, we didn't want it to be a fundraiser. We do so many fundraisers for the FSR and for other things. So we're always hitting people up for money. The three of us decided, since we're no longer a part of Stronger Than Sarcoidosis, that we were going to do this for the community. Anybody who was in the immediate area, and if anybody wanted to do it like in Indiana and knows people, we could at least tell them how to go about, help them go about doing it, or Mississippi, just some thoughts, you get to know more people and things like that. So we just wanted to have fun. We wanted the caregivers to be with the caregivers and let them talk about us. It's all good. And let us talk to each other. And we just had a great, great 4 or 5 hours. My husband decided to put the credit card at the bar. So that got a little expensive, but he was nice. So it's all good.
Wow.
Yeah. So Wendy, maybe next year. Think about it. April 13th or 14th. Come on down.
Um, I was wondering, because of some of our caretakers work, our mates, so could you supposedly have it in the summertime?
We could try. Absolutely. That's why we did it this time, because I got sick, then Kerry got sick, and then Cheryl got sick. So we kept having to push it into, what was it, June, right? Yeah, it was
Yeah.
last month. Yeah. So did you see some of the pictures?
Yeah, I did, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I wish I was there so badly. It's weird because I don't know if the rest of you feel that way, but I wanted to be with people that, you know, were
That
familiar.
and that know you, and that you say the word sarcoidosis, and we all look at you and go, "Yep,
Yeah, right. Instead of what?
what?"
And they don't want to hear it either. That's another one, but
Yeah, so I'll keep in close contact with you as far as that, so that you can come on down, because I know you're just a couple of hours, maybe more. Hey, maybe make a
yeah,
trip out of it. Maybe
about
go to the
7.5.
city afterwards. Yeah.
No, I was down there last year. I was in New York and
Oh, okay.
was visiting
Yeah.
relatives in Jersey and
Okay. So I'll keep you in tune with it. Okay. I'll keep everybody in tune. But Regina, if you want to do it in your area, I can help you.
Girl, I work. I
I
don't have
know.
time to do anything right now.
I know.
Wait until I retire.
Okay.
You're getting close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Regina, I
Linda
was
said,
thinking about it. You know what? You should just let them go on their course, right? They're going to lay you off, take
mm-hmm.
the package. You've 23 years there, did you say? So you got a lot of years there. You'll get your 6 months or so of pay, take the package, and then retire if you're close enough. That way, you at least get a little bump on the way out rather than
Mm.
straight
What
retiring.
bump?
Do you have
Right.
unemployment
together.
benefits?
Huh?
You have unemployment compensation. So
Probably.
most jobs, yeah, it's like what is it, 5% per year up to some amount. I don't know. Each company is different, or industry is different. But there's an unemployment compensation payout that can be up to 6 months
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
of pay, and it's a lump sum to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can apply for unemployment compensation, which will give you income. And I don't know how long it is in Indiana. It varies by state. Sometimes it's 6 months, sometimes a year. But then you can go look for that work from home job that will pay you. And when your unemployment runs out or somewhere towards the end, you can just take a new job and you at least have a something that you're due from the company, as opposed to going straight
That's
into retirement.
that's
Uh,
true.
once, once you're out, you can retire and get income from your retirement. It's not enough to retire comfortably on, but then you can do your part-time work or whatever you can do, work from home.
That's
So
true.
That's some good thoughts.
as long as they're
I
going
hadn't thought about
for,
that.
I don't know. So I was thinking, I'm glad that I got on disability because I get so many more benefits on disability than I would if I did, like, I'm not retired, but if I did retire.
right, that's where I'm at. Like I ended up on disability in 2020, and I've had in the past year, maybe 6 of the months, I felt like considering a return to work. But the other 6 months, it's like, this is impossible. And right now, most of it's really mental health. Like, I have no memory left. My working memory, my short term, I don't know what I had for breakfast some days. So I'm not willing to give up my disability to, you know, try and get back to work. So I've been doing things under the table. I've been doing, this house flip. I don't have to declare work until we actually sell it on the way out, and then I'll make a choice, at that point. But there's play it carefully.
Yeah, I
Understand
mean, that's a good way
Yeah.
to put it because like Paul is on, retirement and his benefits are not as good as mine being on disability.
right, because
I
after a
can
short waiting
rely
period, you
on
get
his
Medicaid.
benefits.
You get straight Medicaid, or you can use that and pick one of the Medicaid Plus or Medicaid Advantage plans.
Mhm.
A whole new set of insurance issues.
Well, you guys, I do have some good news. I do have a book that's going to be coming out soon. I
I
wrote
heard.
a poetry book, but it's kind of like a self-help book. It chronicles like my sarcoidosis illness, and it's written in two parts. But the beauty of that book is that it's interactive, and anybody can write within that book. So it's a book of anybody with an illness can actually use that book.
Oh,
Is that
So
going
So
to be available at
is it
Amazon?
interactive just on the book itself or is it interactive through, um, you
it's
know,
interactive within the book itself. So the cover is already published. I have the cover already out there. It's going to be on Amazon. The cover is already out. I just have to actually upload the meat of the book, and I will be doing that within the next couple of weeks.
So does that
So
mean it'll be available as an ebook immediately?
it will be available as a paperback.
Okay.
Yeah.
so you're going to let us know
It,
next meeting what the title is?
and the name of the book is To
Drum roll,
Hell
please.
with. I'm going to tell you what the name of it is right now.
Sorry.
The name of the book is To Hell with Sarcoidosis and Other Illnesses, Poetic Justice, Journaling My Inner Thoughts.
okay.
That sounds pretty cool.
Now, Regina, here's what I just sent you Alexa's email. If
Okay.
you if you reach out to Alexa, um, we'll make a blog post with you and we'll put the blog post and then we'll include the blog post, a link to the blog post in our reminders for all the sarcoidosis people when you're ready. And,
Okay.
if Alexa thinks we should put it in other reminders, we'll do it. So just make a note of Alexa's email and reach out to her, and then we'll help you get some
Traction.
Listen,
traction. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And
Got it.
free marketing.
and and I just checked, and you are in the database, and so
Okay.
you're receiving the emails, but they may be going into spam. So what you got to do is whitelist ancan.org. Make sure that ancan.org is accepted.
Okay. Okay, because I don't know if I ever received anything, so we'll just have to find out then. Next email list.
And
I
I'll,
mean,
I'll
look in your spam and see, put in ancan.org in your spam and see if anything comes up.
But right now it's
Um,
cleaned up.
okay, well, that's
Right
good.
now I have
But
it cleaned up.
Rick, what's the email in the database? Because it could have been an old email.
the email in the database is sarcoidosisfortwayne@gmail.com.
Yep.
Okay.
okay.
So you are there, and it's not. This is weird because it doesn't show that anything's been sent to you. All right, you look and we'll look and we'll try and figure out what the heck's going on here.
Sounds like a plan.
Oh, Miss Alexa's calling. Okay, I'm just going to go on mute.
Hi.
Okay. Well, Kathleen, I wanted to give you some feedback.
Yes.
Your energy level, your presence is significantly raised, and it's even higher when you talk about these bills. So thank you for
Because
what you're doing, and very impressive. And I'm going to call my senators. So thank you for that.
no
Yeah.
problem. I think the energy is actually from the beach today. I hadn't
That
realized that
too.
I hadn't grounded in a long time. Grounding means you take off your shoes, your socks, and you're on concrete or grass or sand. I want to say it's been a year since I grounded. So I do feel, yeah. Because
Wow.
I got fake floors over
So
here. We don't go
Yeah.
outside in our yard because it's full of rocks. Welcome to Long Island. Every time you dig, you find a boulder about this big. So,
is
um,
it hot there?
yeah, we were 95
It's
today with
humid hot.
humidity of 90%. So
Oh,
even at the
I
It's
beach, I was
hot
like dripping.
everywhere.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
But thank you, Kevin.
I'd like to thank the oil companies for making trillions of dollars and investing a lot of that into faking us all out that global warming wasn't real. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, there you go.
It's coming fast and furious.
I agree. I agree. But thank you anyway. Maybe it's the grounding.
That could be. There's yeah, I've seen the grounding sheets or
Hmm.
grounding mats for your bed to like
Yes.
bring that into your
Yeah,
sleep on it
somebody
every
told me about that, grounding
day. Yeah.
sheets for the bed. I was like, oh,
Yep.
how much are those? Because I go to J.C. Penney's when they're on sale for like $6.
Yeah, this isn't that. But the whole idea is like when you're sitting in your house, it's not grounded.
No.
And your body uses electricity to function, and
Hmm.
electricity has a energy balance, and a lot of that can build up inside your body. And when you ground it, you're just charging it all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how real the science is, but I've been doing a lot of beach walks and I feel better too. So I don't know if it's the sun or the walk or the fact that feet are on the ground, but it works.
Yeah. So,
Hey
Oh,
y'all.
thank you.
I have been using my TikTok. I'm barely on Facebook or link all that stuff, but I have been using my TikTok for bringing about awareness for sarcoidosis, and I just want guys to know, I have 2,600 followers,
Oh,
wow.
and
wow.
every day that I make a post, someone may make a comment that they have a family member or they have that condition, sarcoidosis. And I am amazed at how many people have already reached out to me about sarcoidosis through TikTok.
What
So
what
one of the things, go ahead, Kathleen.
what is your handle or name or whatever you want to call it?
It is Gigi. It is Queen Gigi.
Got it.
Excuse me. It is at Gigi Queen 01.
Say that one more time.
It is at Gigi Queen 01 on TikTok.
Okay.
Have you
I just
ever
want to.
posted about the meetings?
Well, that's what I was getting ready to get at. So
Yeah.
I also have a Linktree account, and in that Linktree account, oh, they took my link off of my post. Why they do that? Why is TikTok
Censorship.
doing that? Huh?
Censorship.
Oh God.
I don't care. But anyway, I'm going to put the link back up because what it gives people an opportunity to go in and link to Linktree, and I'm going to link this um, link for the
Meeting?
meeting on there so that
Okay.
people can go and
Yeah,
go. I
yeah.
thought I had it
Great.
on
The more
there.
the
Hold on a
merrier.
minute.
Yeah.
We've had up to 50 people on this call before.
Mm-hmm.
Once.
Some reason I'm not finding her. I must have you because I'm not finding you. GG Queen 01.
Yeah, why did the TikTok? But anyway, I have a link tree that has all the links to everything that I do in reference to sarcoidosis, so people know that I'm the real deal on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I'm going to add this link, if you guys don't mind, to my
Absolutely.
link
Absolutely.
tree. Okay,
Thank you.
good.
And then maybe for the first couple of months, just refresh it every month.
Yes.
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
And
we got room for plenty more.
yeah, I can do that. But yeah, I have that many followers. Oh, now the link is back, so maybe something wrong with TikTok. But anyway, yeah, I have 2,600 followers. I
Wow.
don't go live. I tried. I don't know. I want to go do a live on here, and I want to be able to do like a panel discussion, with other people who have
Mm-hmm.
sarcoid. And Kathleen and I have talked about this once before. Um,
Love it.
but the people who are on here, they have to at least have 1,000 followers.
Mm.
So in order to go live, so anybody who goes live, all the people have to have 1,000 followers. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be on TikTok, because I was amazed that once I got the 1,000 followers and then I did a live, how many people are out here with sarcoidosis that are not on Facebook or on Instagram or any other platform, but they are here on TikTok, and that's another venue. And I tried talking to FSR about this. It's another venue where you can grab some more people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think the younger generations are more into TikTok. And
Yes.
exactly, and those are the people that I have touched bases with, is these younger people, and I am like stunned at the younger crowd that is on here that have sarcoidosis. I can't believe all the people that have been following me. So I made a post today that FSR put out, and it talks about how there is no cure for sarcoidosis at this time, and it depends on the severity of the disease and the patient's response to the treatment. But then it goes on, as we were talking about earlier, about the different types of medications that is available to us. So, and then I added my own 2 cents to the post. I said, no cure, but manageable. Let's brush off and keep going. I can't believe I got 10 likes on that. I got a compliment on it. Somebody said my sister has this disease, and then somebody saved that post so they can go back and look at that post, and they probably even shared it.
Hmm.
So
Can,
251 people viewed that post today.
Wow.
can you put the link in?
Oh, my link to
Yeah,
my TikTok link?
Yep.
please.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can I
Link it.
butt
Hold on.
in just for a second? I found the problem, Miss Regina.
You did?
I did, because I've got Alexa, your fellow Fort Wayne buddy, on the telephone here, and the problem is you unsubscribed
Oh, I
at some
did?
point. You did, which means
Oh,
only you can, and I sent you a note, I think, at the time. You have to go back and you have to resubscribe. We cannot resubscribe you.
oh, how do I do that?
You just go to our website, and where it says contact us, or you go to the sarcoidosis page on the website and hit
Okay,
subscribe, and you'll have to put your information in again and tick the group. That's why you haven't
okay.
gotten anything. I don't know
Oh,
when you
got it.
unsubscribed, but it was a long time ago. Let me see if
Oh,
I can figure it out.
gotcha.
You
Okay,
you
okay.
unsubscribed. No, I don't know when you unsubscribed. I can't even. Oh, yes. No longer interested. You sent in the
Oh, you Lord.
2019
Oh,
Oh,
snap.
2019.
2019 when we sent out our annual request. She unsubscribed
That's a
with the
long
annual
time ago.
busted. We got you. You busted,
Busted.
kid. You busted. Oh, but
Rick
you
remembers. All
there
right,
you
listen,
Oh my
guys. I gotta
gosh.
run. I got something
okay.
else going on right now.
All right.
Thanks,
And
all.
and
Kathleen will keep the line open.
Regina, Regina, I'm telling Alexa right now about what you're doing, and I'll also tell about Kathleen, and then you guys can follow up.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds great.
All right, Miss Regina, you gotta subscribe again. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, Rick. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
before there's my log on right there
Where?
for TikTok.
Where is it?
Okay.
Oh,
I don't.
I put it on the wrong person. Hold on. Okay, Rick left. Hold on.
Just put it in the chat.
I did, but Rick and
Oh,
I was chatting privately. Hold on.
ho ho. Linda, now we know the truth, okay? Uh, G, I get it. G Queen. That's why I wasn't finding you. I think I am already friends, but I will make sure that I am now.
I think we are.
All right. I'm going to end the recording.